Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan took an early tour of the summit venue Wednesday as he prepares to host his G20 counterparts. As the summit approaches, there are alarming indicators about the health of some emerging economies, including Turkey, where inflation is high and the currency struggling. But analysts say it is Russia that is suffering the most.
It's contracting by maybe 5% this year. We're really struggling with the collapse in the oil prices, on top of the sanctions problem, on top of the very poor governance, which has made it extremely difficult for businesses to operate there.
Growth in China has slowed to under 7%, according to official figures, prompting an equity sell-off and pushing down oil prices. But some feel the fears are overblown.
The equity market did collapse, but there'd been a bubble beforehand, and it's not really very strongly connected with actual growth in the economy.
Robust economic data from the United States have raised expectations the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates next month, compounding the problems for emerging economies. China said this week it wants the G20 to focus on reform of voting rights at the International Monetary Fund.
They are underrepresented dramatically. So at the moment the US has around 16% of the share, China only 4%, India around 3%, Brazil even 2%.
Climate change will also feature high on the G20 agenda.
Particularly because we have the Paris summit coming up in December, and this is one of the last meetings where the big economies and the big actors also on climate change will come together.
The arrest of 20 suspected Islamic State militants in Turkey's Antalya province this week is an indication global security has been thrust to the forefront of the agenda, says the University of Toronto's John Curtin, speaking via Skype from Antalya.
Terrorism in the Middle East primarily, the Syrian refugee crisis, they're going to be dealt with by the leaders at the dinner where they meet alone. Can deal in a more flexible fashion.
China assumes the rotating presidency of the G20 in 2016. Analysts say Beijing will likely find its own economy is the major focus of many fellow members. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.